Greetings, pet lovers. Bridget here with First Street Pets, and today we're going to talk about how to save money on pet care. Frugal living isn't just a trend, it's a smart way of life. Many people live paycheck to paycheck, don't keep a budget, and have no idea where their money is going. This leaves them in a vulnerable situation if something happens with your pet and you need emergency funds. You end up maxing out a credit card or having to borrow from friends or family. But with a little smart planning, you can save money on pet care without compromising on quality. Number 1, veterinary care. Veterinary care can be quite expensive, although of course compared to human hospitalization, it's very cheap. Anytime you go to the vet with your animal, it's probably going to be at least a couple of $100 just for an exam and some treatment, maybe a bottle of pills. If your animal needs surgery, that can be hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars for specialty surgery. What is the best way to avoid these huge bills? Well, this may sound counterintuitive, but you can save on vet care by not skimping on vet care. Just like with your own health, most problems are best prevented than treated when they become an emergency. Unfortunately, many Americans with little income and without health insurance will wait till they're very sick and go to the emergency hospital. If you do the same thing with your pets, they may die. They may become a lot more ill than they would have had you gone sooner. And it will also end up costing you a lot of money. So best to keep your pets healthy, do those regular checkups, vaccines, parasite control, keep them healthy rather than waiting until the 11th hour and running up a huge bill. Another way to save money with vets is to shop around. I have had pets all my life, and I've gone to countless veterinary hospitals for services depending on where I was living at the time and what kind of pets I had. And the prices will hugely vary for the same procedures. So it doesn't hurt to call around, especially if you need an expensive procedure done, like a surgery. Don't be ashamed to ask for discounts. Some veterinarians do that. Mine will give me a professional discount, so they'll knock a few bucks off my bill because I'm a professional pet sitter and I work in animal welfare, and so they have a discount code for that. It doesn't hurt to try to find a price that you can afford and to see if you can get a discount. Some of the franchise pet hospitals, I won't say their names, but you probably know what I'm talking about, can give good quality care, but it is their culture to upsell because they are run by corporations. So if you go to a vet like that, fine, but just don't necessarily let them talk you into lots of tests and extra vaccines and procedures that you don't feel you need. Educate yourself on what your pet needs and make your own decisions. While of course I recommend regular vet care for both prevention and treatment of medical problems, there are some things that you can do yourself at home. One of these is vaccinations. Many vaccinations can be purchased at feed stores or other pet supply stores and legally and safely done at home. If you've never done this before, get someone to show you. Folks who have livestock and farm animals generally do a lot of this stuff themselves, so they may be able to help you learn to become comfortable giving vaccinations. Very important to do your research and know which ones your pets need. In California and probably across America, rabies must be given at a veterinary hospital. So that is one exception. But many other common vaccines can be purchased at the store and given at home for a much lower cost. Most parasite treatments can be given at home. My pets are indoors, so I don't give it to them every month. I just do it usually a couple times a year, or if I see a flea on somebody, I'll give them a treatment. You can save a ton of money by buying these products and doing it yourself at home, but be extremely careful. Products that look similar can be different and can be toxic for your pet. For example, some flea products that are packaged for dogs can also be used on cats safely. So you can just buy the large dog package and divide it up and use it on your cats. Others will kill a cat. So before you try to save money this way, be sure to do your research and find out exactly which products are safe for use, and if you can use them on a dog or a cat, and what the correct dosage is. Very important to find all that out before you give any type of medication to your pet. When I was working in the animal shelter, we saw a tragic case of a litter of border collies that came in with terrible neurological problems because the owner had tried to deworm them with ivermectin. It's a very common dewormer used for horses and cattle. And this owner thought that he could just buy the cattle size one and divide it up by weight and give it to the puppies. But unfortunately, the toxicity was so bad that those puppies didn't make it. So again, be very careful what you give your animals, if it's appropriate for that type of animal, and the dosage. Number 2, pet food. The pet food industry is a huge corporate giant with many companies offering hundreds of options on pet food. You have the packaged kibble, which is very common, canned food, foods in pouches, frozen food, raw food, you name it, you can buy it for your pet. Prices vary widely, as does the packaging. So as I learned from the owner of my local pet shop, see my recent video about pet gifts that I filmed there at the shop, she likes to educate her customers on reading the bags of dog food. This is very important. This will tell you actually what is in the food, how much is actually meat or fillers or byproducts. It is possible to buy a good or decent quality food on a budget. If you go to the store, it's very important to read what it says on the back of the bag. They all have pretty pictures and packaging and marketing, but that doesn't tell you what the quality is of the product. So of course you have to find something that fits in your budget, that's in your price range, but that will also be healthy for your pet. Now, I'm here to tell you that many pets have lived long, satisfying lives on some cheap food. But just do be aware, if you buy the really cheap ones, there is a lot of filler like corn and wheat. Your dogs will poop more and they will have to eat more of the stuff. So there's not as much good nutrition in the food. So it may look like you're getting more, but you're kind of not, because it's not great quality. But it is possible to get something that is a little better quality than that, but maybe not the super duper premium that's very pricey. It might be $40 or $50 a bag. If that's not in your price range, then look for something you can afford, but definitely look for something that has a higher protein content and less of the filler materials. Prices vary greatly from one store to another, so definitely shop around. You can order some of these products through Amazon or Chewy or another online service that may give you discounts. Local shops often have punch cards like mine does. If you buy a certain number of bags of food or cans of food, you'll get another one free. So always ask for discounts, sales, and punch cards so you can save as much money as you can. Buying in bulk is usually cheaper for many different kinds of products, including pet food. If you look at the amount of ounces in the packages in the store, you will see that the price per ounce is usually a lot more for a smaller bag because you're paying for packaging. So if you have a place to safely store food to keep it fresh and keep it away from ants and other critters, then I would definitely recommend buying a larger bag instead of a smaller one, because you could actually save a couple dollars per bag. Number 3, pet supplies. So a trip to the local pet store with all the cute toys and beds and blankets and doodads that you can buy, you can quickly run up a big bill. But before you do that, stop and think about what fits into your budget and also what will last. Many pet toys can be found at a number of different stores for vastly different prices. A few years back, I had a summer job at a dog boutique, and the prices were very high because it was in an expensive shopping area for tourists. And when I said something to the owner about the prices, she said that people should shop there and not shop online because they should support local. Now, I totally get that. I want to support local small businesses as well. But if it's twice the price as where I can get it somewhere else, sorry, I'm going to Walmart. So you will see a lot of cute toys at Walmart. Target has a great pet section with beds, bowls, and everything else, you name it, for very low prices. And sometimes you get those little 5% off or $5 off cards for the next time you go shopping. So you can find great deals on cute things, and you don't necessarily have to buy them from the boutique shop that's paying really high rent. In my article and video about eco pet care, I talk about buying toys that last. And this is also important for staying on a budget. If you buy toys that will last for a while, your pets will get a lot of enjoyment out of them and you won't waste money. I really don't like spending $15 or $20 on a toy only to have it torn up in 2 days. So while that fluffy little whatever that you see at the store may be really cute, if you pick it up and look at it and see that it's something very flimsy, if your dogs are the kind to tear stuff up, then you know that's going to be a waste of money. You want to go for things more like ropes, things that are made out of leather or canvas and stitched together in a way that they will actually last you for a while. So your dog will get to play with it and you'll get your money's worth. Number 4, grooming. Grooming is a very important and often ignored part of pet ownership, both for dogs and cats. Many folks go out and buy a cute puppy that's a doodle or a Bernese mountain dog or some cute fluffy dog, and when they get really large and hairy, they need some serious grooming, or else they're going to be matted and dirty and they can even get a skin infection. So planning for that kind of grooming is very important for being a responsible pet owner. Now, while some dogs really do need professional grooming, unless you know how to do it yourself, you can also save money on that, just like with vet care, by being preventive. If you have a poodle, a doodle, or some kind of dog with lots of hair, a Shih Tzu, a Lhasa Apso, they get dirty, they get tangled up. If you take them in regularly throughout the year, have their hair cut short, and you keep them brushed up at home, they will stay clean and healthy throughout the year. You don't want to wait until they are tangled and matted, because not only is it going to be unpleasant for them, but the groomer is going to fairly have to charge you more because it will take them a long time to get your dog healthy. And they may just have to shave all the hair off and you'll have to start all over again. So if you're in the market for a new dog, be sure to pick wisely and understand if they will need professional grooming, that you'll have to plan for that throughout the year. And in between the groomings, you will need to brush and maintain their coat at home. If you have a short-haired dog or you just want to touch up on their grooming between times when you go to the grooming salon, you can learn how to give them a bath yourself at home, and also to trim nails. Maybe someone will show you who knows how to do it, or you can watch some videos online. Very important, though, to not cut the quick of your dog's nails, because then that will hurt and they will never let you do it again. So this is something that you can learn to do yourself at home and save money, at least keep them touched up. The problem is if the nails grow out too long, you can't just cut them back to where you want them, because the quick or the vein inside the nail will grow out with it. So that's something you want to keep up on regularly. If you can do it yourself, that's great. If not, you can do it at the groomer or at the vet. I do it as a pet sitter, so you may be able to find someone who provides in-home services who can do that for you if your animal is too stressed out to go to the vet. Number 5, know your limits. Now, this is the pot calling the kettle black, because I usually have a lot of animals, too many animals. I have a bunch of cats, I have 3 horses. I've had lots of animals throughout my life, and while I've provided great care for all of them, it has come with a high price. So I have put some limits on my pet rescuing in recent years, just to try to save money, to take care of myself, to provide for the animals I have, and to not acquire any new animals. It can be really difficult when you're involved in the humane world, because people are inundating your Facebook feed. They're calling you, they're telling you about animals that'll be put down if you don't come and save them. And I know this can be really hard to pass up, or you just want to help, or you just want to foster. Then you end up stuck with more animals that you have to spend a lot of money on. So what I have done is just gotten off of some groups and lists of folks looking for homes for new animals because all it does is upset me, and there's nothing I can do about it because I can't afford to take on any more pets into my own home. So it's important to get that message out and to kind of keep yourself from looking at that stuff if all it does is depress you. It's also important to set a limit in your mind. What can you afford? Do you want to just have one dog or two cats or whatever it is? You know what you can handle, what you have time for, and what you have the money for. Once you figure that out, it's easier to stick with it. Number 6, you've heard this a million times before, adopt, don't shop. Now, I've got nothing against folks buying a pet from a breeder. If there's a horse, dog, or cat that's a specific breed that they want and they find a good breeder that sells healthy animals, go for it. That's not what this is about. But I want to tell you that there is a lot of value in adopting a pet from a shelter or rescue. Now, when I was involved in adoptions, folks would sometimes complain and say, why do I have to pay $100 or $200 for this animal? But when you look at all the services you're getting for that, so maybe you're getting a cat or a dog for $100 or $150, that animal has been fully vetted. Usually they're already spayed or neutered, or you can bring them back to have it done when they're old enough. They've had vaccines, they've had flea treatments, they've had their nails trimmed. So if you added up all those services, it really is a good value. Whereas when you buy an animal, you have to have all that stuff done yourself at your private veterinarian for a premium price. So many people mistakenly think there's something wrong with animals in shelters. There really isn't. They're the same as any other. They've either gotten lost and not found, or someone wasn't able to keep them for financial or what other reasons. So you can find a great pet and get a lot of services at your local shelter, help them out, and also save yourself some money. And while, as I mentioned, I've got nothing against folks buying pets from breeders that they want, do use caution on the internet. As I'm sure you've seen if you've watched any videos about scams and cons, that you can make a website look great and the reality is quite different. So there are many, many websites for puppy brokers and breeders and things like that. And if they're not in your state, you don't have any way of knowing what the conditions are, what the health is of the puppies. Now, you may get lucky and they may be perfectly fine, or they may be from some puppy mill where they're not even really that breed, or they're unhealthy, or any other number of things. So just do your due diligence. If you're buying an animal from out of state, try to find a real breeder who is reputable and responsible, and you can get some real information. Just realize that being AKC registered doesn't mean that an animal is guaranteed to be healthy or of any quality. It's just a registration system. It's not a policing system. So do your due diligence. I do know people who have purchased puppies sight unseen and unfortunately been stuck with thousands of dollars in vet bills when they got Giardia or Parvo. They get these terrible sicknesses and almost die and have huge vet bills, or maybe have some birth defects or behavioral issues. So just do your homework before bringing home an animal sight unseen. It will save you both money and heartache. I hope this article has given you some ideas on how to stay within your budget and provide quality care for your companion animals. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree with these things I've said? Do you have some tips for the viewers on saving money on their pets? Please comment. Thank you for watching.